It's the Blizzard thing. I'm going to call it the Activision Blizzard thing because Blizzard's
it's not Blizzard.
It's not just Blizzard.
Yeah.
This is a multi-level fuck.
Yes. I heard about this.
And there's a lot to unpack, bro. Dude, this is everywhere. There are politicians in the States talking about it. That's how far this has gone.
Oh, I didn't know it was gone that far.
No, it's everyone I was talking about. This is mainstream media now. This is everywhere. This is not just within
That's not good news.
No,
for Blizzard.
not for Blizzard stock.
That's a bad time for
not
Blizzard.
For the stock. That's
yikes.
for sure.
That's a big yikes for me, dog.
So, Hearthstone Grandmasters winner he's from Hong Kong, obviously. Blitzchung, I think he's from Hong Kong. I think that was the assumption. I read it in the article. Said, and this was all in. I don't know if he's Cantonese or Mandarin or what they said it in, but the casters, everyone's speaking Mandarin or Cantonese or whatever because it was a stream for their tournament at the time, I guess. Liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our age, is what he said. And he had the mask on and all that shit. And I was sitting there, I was like, yes! Yes! And then Blizzard said, no! 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 And so they responded.
Why'd they get so mad about it?
Okay, so, that's a lot to unpack. This is a doozy. So, but let me finish this up. So it was during the live post-match interview. So this was all being live streamed. And then Blizzard, and when he's saying it, the casters ducked behind the desk when he started talking about it. They were like, we got to get the fuck off this camera.
Yeah, we need to run.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of George Bush does not like black people moment.
Oh, my. When they changed the camera and the dude's like...
When they cut and he was like...
People in Africa are starving. Yeah. People in Africa are starving.
It's one of my favorite TV moments of all time, by the way.
Donate now.
My God, that was good. So they duck under the table or whatever. So Blizzard responds by removing him from Grandmasters, taking all of his prize money from Season 2, and banning him for a full year from tournaments and broadcasting.
Okay, so what exactly did he say again?
So he said, because you know what's going on in Hong Kong right now. I'm assuming you've seen enough news to know what's going on.
I mean, I know to a degree about all the protesting and things that's been going on.
Okay, yeah. So, and you know that Hong Kong and China have not been on mucho bueno terms for a long time because China's fucked. So, with that whole situation, and it's all over social media. So this guy being from there was live streamed. He decided to say, liberate Hong Kong. So this is his actual the translated quote anyway is liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our age is what he said.
Okay, I get it. I get it fully now.
So they did all that, and then they fired the two casters.
Why would they fire the casters?
It's a great question. I haven't gotten that far yet, but they fired the two casters.
I could see them getting mad at the dude that said that shit. But firing the casters?
Yeah. So there's a little more I've got written here. So Blizzard, also fired the two casters who were there during the interview. This has become possibly the biggest gaming story of the year, and this will be the biggest gaming story of the year, bar none. And people have been closing their Blizzard accounts in no small number. I mean, people are actually not just unsubscribing from WoW, but like going through the process of sending in their identification to completely close out their Blizzard accounts.
Damn.
And in
waves,
relatively large numbers.
Wow.
Yeah. Some of their other casters are leaving, saying that they don't want to be part of this, so they're just quitting. It is a 5. It's not even 5. It's like a 6.5 alarm fire right now.
Damn, that's a lot of alarms.
It's a lot of alarms.
That's a big fire.
So that half alarm's just like,
This is a full-blown
blaze right now. And like I said, it's hit mainstream media outlets, and even some politicians are calling out Activision Blizzard on sucking the dick of China because it's a political easy thing for them to say.
I mean, not only that, imagine the amount of money Blizzard makes in China.
Well, see, this is where we're going with this.
What I mean?
I've got Slasher, who you know Slasher.
From Quake.
He broke this, so here's what they cited specifically, and this is the only, to my knowledge, there are two things that Blizzard has said. One, Activision Blizzard group in China, and then the only thing that we've seen over this side really is this statement, unless this has changed since yesterday. Upon further review, we have found the action has violated the 2019 Hearthstone Grandmasters official competition rules, section 6.10, and is individual behavior which does not represent Blizzard or Hearthstone esports. 6.10 is found below, and they list it here. Engaging in any act that, in Blizzard's sole discretion, brings you into public disrepute, offends a portion or group of the public, or otherwise damages Blizzard's image, will result in removal from Grandmasters and reduction of the player's prize total to $0. In addition to other remedies which may be provided for under the handbook and Blizzard's website terms. Okay, so what the first reactions out of this from people were one, obviously lots of because there's so much support for Hong Kong, it was seen as like it was immediately seen by the general public as obviously bad, because it was like backing China instead of backing Hong Kong in this situation. The next thing that when some people cooled down a little bit, it was a lot of people talking about how it's sensible that within those guidelines, let's say they suspend him for a time, but a lot of people are saying the punishment is
too much,
ultra severe for the situation, and that what it does is it lends itself to people believing, and I don't think this isn't reality, that Activision Blizzard is going to extremes to protect their interests in the Chinese video game market, specifically mobile. So, because of that, now everyone is just like, okay, well now it's fucked. Now it's over. Blizzard's done. For people here, in terms of people don't want to support it anymore. It's like that you have now chosen money over free speech in one of the most important and impactful and major like socio-political movements happening globally right now, and you chose China because money. And
over
people,
Hong Kong,
or
I guess
just freedom of speech. In this guy from that place saying it was to be fair, it's not like he gave like a fucking dissertation here. He said about 7.5 words, left it at that, and that was the show. And
so, in his statement, what was his statement calling to action for? Is he calling to action for China and Hong Kong to get along, or is he calling for action for? No, they want
Hong Kong wants to be separated from
China,
and has been forever, because China
I understand that, but in terms, I couldn't fully understand his wording, because I didn't know if he was looking for peace or hey,
Hong Kong wants to peacefully be separated from China. The problem is that
it's like Quebec wants to be away from Canada. Essentially, they want their own. They want their own. It's I know it's a vastly different thing to a degree, but it's the same type of play. At face value,
we didn't forcefully take Quebec at any point in time. Quebec has been part of the country since the beginning, and then they wanted to leave later. Hong Kong was China coming over and saying, hey, you're us now, and there's nothing you can do about it, and then suppressing literally everything right down to the most famous being, I always pronounce it wrong, Tiananmen Square, where you can't even post pictures of that shit without facing horrendous repercussions.
I understand.
So
I understand it's an extreme. It's an extreme over there. For sure.
It's a crazy situation.
Yeah.
And China is objectively in the wrong across the board. Nobody is backing China but businesses.
Of course, because they make their money.
NBA in the same week ran into a similar problem where they chose to basically side with China. But it's a very interesting thing, because when players talk about politically within the North American spectrum, and they say something, it's not nearly as big of a problem. But now that we bring up China, and China as a market is so big,
all right,
the companies
So what's your thoughts on this? Because I can give you my hot take now that I really know. Because, I mean, I haven't dug... the news just fucking... I've seen the tweets. I've read the article. I've read Slasher's write-up and stuff. But in terms of, like, the stuff you're explaining to me, I'm just kind of getting some of that information now.
Yeah, originally, this is true. Drunkard's right. It was originally, all the protesting was about the extradition law within Hong Kong. Basically, all of it centers on, no matter how you look at it, it's China abusing
Yes.
horrendous power
Yes.
in
Well, they already
human rights violations type ways.
They've been doing this type of shit. The censorship, everything. It's
not new. It's just getting worse now because technology is making it way easier for them to do it, right?
yeah.
So,
So what's your hot take?
I don't think mine's a hot take. I think that the punishment is horrendously overboard, and that if he had said something about Trump, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. Period.
Probably not.
And if we were, it would be a minor suspension. He wouldn't have lost all of his prize winnings, guaranteed. Because here's the other thing. Where is this? It's in here somewhere. Oh, did I not save it? Shit. There is a statement from Activision Blizzard from within China that talks about how upset they were that he said those things, and that they are looking to defend the Chinese nationality.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's my hot take.
I got more to this.
Okay.
Blizzard does similar shit when it came to the pride stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Flying all sorts of pride flags over here, writing stories about characters and stuff where they're
true.
whatever. And then as soon as you move over into the Eastern markets, we don't support that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that here.
We don't support that. Yeah. So it's Activision Blizzard is doing every virtue signaling possible in every way imaginable, only for money, to the point where employees went outside and they have that big statue out front of Blizzard, and on the ground is like the tenets of Blizzard, where one of them was along the lines of like everyone has a voice or whatever, and employees covered that up the next day. Here's the thing. Okay, so here's my. I guess this is maybe a hot take. Okay, I'll say it from a base level. The punishment, if regardless of what he said, so if he did say something about Trump or he said something about any other government, suspension was necessary because of the rule book. But suspension, all the prize money, winnings, everything that came down, firing the casters, it shows us that it's more than just following the rule book. It's covering in and covering up for and pandering to China. So that's where my problem lies, because ultimately, when I tweeted about this, and somebody said, "Well, it's a business; they're going to do everything they can to make money. Businesses don't have morals and values," which, in my opinion, anyway, is complete and utter bullshit. Because at the end of the day, businesses are created by people; they are owned and operated by people. All of those people have values. All of those people have morals. And the further up the food chain in the company you go, the more impactful, the more influence your morals and values have on the outcomes of how that company operates within the world around them.
It's true.
Okay? Otherwise, you wouldn't have, not-for-profit organizations out there trying to do really good shit. You'd just have everyone out there looking to get fucking money, and that's the show. Okay. So I think that we're at a point now where there is a line between keeping politics out of stuff and then recognizing when there is something so substantial at play that you have to be I guess what it comes down to for a business is two things. And this is really all it is. And it seems to be an easy choice for a lot of businesses. It's, are we going to suck China's dick? That's full flat stop, because from a personal level, if you talk to any individual within the company and then you went and talked about China and what they're doing and whatnot from a business standpoint and then said, would you want your company to support? No. The answer is going to be no. Unequivocally no from across the board. The company's going to do it anyway. So you get the choice of, does the company go in that direction? Or does the company say, we're going to stand our ground here and either be completely outside of it and not choose any side, which, by the way, blocking somebody from saying that isn't necessarily choosing a side. That's why companies have people on social media say the opinions expressed by the employees of this company do not necessarily represent that of the company itself. There's a reason why. You don't have to go out of your way like this and literally nuke it from fucking orbit. That chooses a side for you when you do that. Or you grow a set of balls and say, you know what, China's fucked up. There's a lot of money over there, but there has to be a line, because if the companies keep feeding into China like this, China is literally going to run the world in like the next 50 years, because in the short term, people just want the money and they don't want to care about anything else. And it doesn't seem like that right now. And people, it's like that. It's a slow build up, but it's coming.
Yeah.
Because
one day you wake up and go, what the fuck? China just runs this world. What the fuck?
Exactly.
And it's too late.
Because companies are now at the point where you can't even say things within North America that are against China across the fucking globe, because the companies that run the governments here are saying that we can't do that because that's going to fuck our interests in China, where a lot of our income comes from. You're going to see it in movies. You're already seeing it. Every time you watch a movie, there's at least one sponsor that comes out of China. Tencent has their hands in a bajillion fucking places as it stands. And now when the mobile market being as it is, in the gaming industry, you have everyone trying to break into the Chinese market in any way, shape, or form they can. PUBG going completely fucking like bloodless and shit. Just do anything they can possibly do to get into the Chinese market. So for me, it's the suspension was overkill, and it shows that they chose a side, and the side was China. Which is, in my opinion, it's not everyone's opinion, my opinion is that that's the wrong side of history to go with. And then the other thing is that what this shows to a bigger degree, because it's reflecting in other places this week and not just Activision Blizzard, is that we're at a point now where a lot of people are going to take more seriously what businesses that they want to deal with, depending on just how in the pocket they are of Chinese government and the Chinese market, because people aren't. It's weird. I'll say this. I know I'm ranting.
You're rambling.
I'm rambling.
Right now.
I know it's
You're
bad.
going, bro.
It's bad, but that's where my head's at today. I'm foggy as fuck. Where people say, you know, well, why didn't we do something about this earlier? Weren't we like boycotting shit earlier? When China was doing these things, or what about this other country over here or this country over there? And the answer is everyone has a different catalyst for what gets them involved in any kind of movement. And it's not always going to be the obvious one for you. It's not always going to be the one that's like it's super fucking in your face. Like, this is the point where we should have done something. It's always going to be something fucking weird, and it's usually going to be something these days where it's viral enough on social media. And unfortunately, as silly as it seems, a dude getting banned and having his prize money taken for a video game competition seems to be the thing that's kickstarting the discussion within our age group on social media. It's a fucking dumpster fire, and I will say this: fuck Activision, fuck Blizzard, hard. Not just for this, but everything. Blizzard's super. We already determined Blizzard's dead. Blizzard's fucking in the ground. You can't even res that shit. You can't even zombify Blizzard for me at this point. Blizzard is fucking done. I'm done with Blizzard. Not because they had dealings with China, but how they're going about their dealings with China. There's better ways, and this ain't it. That's my take. It's a ramble, but fuck me.
All right.
I'm tired today.
All right.
That's your turn to try and put yours into
Well, I mean,
thought.
hey, I'm not gonna go as long. Here's my point of view, because when at the end of the day, we're talking politics here, because that's what this is.
Yeah.
This is
Well, business and politics are the same thing.
It's all the same thing, bro. And we see this type of shit, this type of lobbying politically, whether it's in the White House or any other parliament, wherever. All this, bro. There are sides, and it's either there is no halfway. You're either over there, or you're on the other side.
Yeah.
And the ones in the middle are typically don't really have much of a voice. You know what I mean? It's pick a side, stay on it, even if you don't fully agree with all the values. You know, the core values you might agree with, and then some of the other things you might not agree with, but you have to pretend like you do. You just kind of have to go along with it. You have to like turn a blind eye. You see that all the time. Here's my hot take. First, I'm going to start off with this dude that got suspended and stuff. He deserved it. He deserved it. He deserved to have his money taken. He deserved to get suspended for a year.
Okay.
He deserved to, whatever other punishment they lose his Grandmasters because of one condition. He signed a contract. That contract stated that if you put Blizzard in any political position or you're making some sort of radical statement, whether radical to you or to somebody else, that it puts Blizzard in a tough position. It's very evident that he put Blizzard in a tough position.
Sure.
Whether it's Blizzard China, Blizzard NA, Blizzard EU, Blizzard whatever, Blizzard Activision as a whole.
Yep.
He did that.
Yep.
He didn't have the... I guess he has the right to do it in terms of freedom of speech.
Yeah.
But there's going to be consequences for what you say
certainly.
in front of a live audience when the spotlight is on you. Now, does it make him a bad person? No. Is his message one that comes from heart? Absolutely. Is it a message that I'm sure he doesn't regret saying? Sure. Maybe in terms of look at the attention it's getting now. I mean, obviously he's looking for attention. Obviously he wanted to make a statement.
I don't think that this was what he thought was going to happen.
Well, I mean, why would you say it? You know, like
you say it because
there's other ways to do it. You could go on Twitter on your own personal account.
Yeah.
You can make a YouTube video. You can put on any social media.
Oh, he knows he's getting more views doing it, but I don't think he thought what's happening right now that politicians would be talking about.
Well, no, I don't think about that. But, you know, it's the world we live in, right? So he signed up for this. He didn't have to say this. So the way I look at it is this. He signed a contract. He broke the contract. And it clearly states in the contract what the penalty is for doing that.
I agree.
So...
Well, it states the range in which things can happen.
Bro, if they want to say fuck you for life, they have every right to do it.
No, I get that. I know, like they're leaving themselves intentionally
of course,
a lot of room to play.
These are legal documents.
Yes, and I get that. But what I'm saying is they didn't have to choose the maximum. But by doing
they
so,
could have said you're gone for life.
Yeah,
fuck a year. They could have said, bro, I never want to see you near Blizzard ever again.
Well, they basically did.
Well, it's a year, right? It's 1 year. He can come back. He can play the game, do whatever he wants. Great. But he could have literally said, bro, you are done. You're never going to be part of another tournament. If we see you have an account, we're going to ban it. You are dead to us. They didn't do that. They got rid of him for a year. They did this. They have the right to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he did a bad thing. Don't get my words twisted.
Oh, no, they have the right to do it. Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, this is the exact same thing that Kaepernick did. Somebody just literally, as I'm saying it, gets on one knee.
Yeah, gets on one knee. Yeah.
Bends a knee.
Yeah.
The guy's gone. Right? You know why? Because the NFL is like, bro, can't be doing that shit, bro. We're too American. You know, get on your, stand up. You know, we know the history here and blah, blah. Now look at him, right? Now, now he's probably making more money than he's ever made in the NFL. He's a public figure for all the right reasons. He made a stand. Good on him. He knew the blowback that he was going to get. He was warned, and he kept doing it. So there's that, and they have every right to. Is it a right thing that what Blizzard did? Because at the end of the day, it's this. Yes, Activision Blizzard, we've already determined they've gone to shit. There's a reason why Michael Morhaime is gone, bro.
Yeah.
He is gone. He left. I don't care what anybody says. Even if Michael Morhaime himself came out and said, I left because I had a long run and I'm ready to retire and spend some time with my family, I'd have a hard time believing that. Full part of it, yes, absolutely. You've made your billions. Go and enjoy your life. But I think a lot of it has to do with the direction that Blizzard is going, the lack of control he probably then had, and he could just see the downfall happening. And look at this. Literally, I think like a month or two after this guy signed his papers, get the fuck out, shitstorm started happening. So ultimately, my point of view is this. This is where Blizzard really fucked up. Firing those two casters. Those guys didn't do anything. They didn't do nothing. They were casting from what I'm seeing, right? They didn't join the march. They hid underneath the table. They were like, bro, I don't want my hands near any of this shit.
Yeah.
This is bad news.
Yeah.
I want to stay away from it because I value my job. I know the rules. I'm not about to comment on any of this. I'm done. Blizzard screwed up there. Now, the reason why I think Blizzard fired them is because they want to remove anything and everything from that situation. On camera, anybody that was part of it, publicly, they want to remove because
they're disabling comments. They're doing anything they can possibly.
It sends a message that, dude, we don't agree with anything that went on here. So those guys kick the can, and if I was them, I'd be lawyering up and suing them. I would be, there'd be a lawsuit, and I would sue the shit out of them. Not only for making them look like the bad guys, because why else would you be, now publicly, especially how big this is, I'd sue the living shit out of them for that, because they didn't do anything wrong. This other dude, on the other hand, absolutely, you got it. Now, when it comes to picking sides and Blizzard putting their foot down and showing their true colors, which, bro, they've been showing their goddamn true colors for much longer than just what happened over here in the last few days.
Yeah, but this is like a different ball game. For me personally, it's a different ball game than them showing their true colors with loot boxes and all this other shit.
I understand.
This is a different
but
ball
the fact that they're going mobile, they're making all these mobile games. They know China. We see where this is going, bro. Yeah. Blizzard NA is dead anyway. I mean, this shit, dude. Blizzard Activision is a China play, bro. They're making the vast majority of their money in China. They're gonna make the vast majority of their money in China from here on out. They know that as a business. It's a multi-bajillion dollar business in a company. They have shareholders. They have powerful people. They probably even have politicians, for Christ's sake, literal politicians in different places making power moves. And this is the world we live in. Blizzard Activision, although I don't agree with what they did to those two dudes, and you know what? At a moral standpoint, I don't agree what they're doing either. But I also don't blame them for what they're doing. Simply because at the end of the day, business is business. And they're not going to allow some young kid that just won a fucking tournament to go out there and sabotage their multi-billion-dollar business and a potential partner that could ultimately cost trillions of dollars in the long run over what? Some political play where you're like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm going to cave in to this, even though this is a horrible thing and it's public. I'm going to cave into this. That's not how these motherfuckers work. They have an agenda, and if there's a speed bump or a block in the road, they're going to tear right through it, and they're going to do it by any means necessary. And believe you me, this is hot news and shit right now. Ask me if this is truly going to affect Blizzard in the wrong one. The answer is no. I don't care how many people are going over to Blizzard and uninstalling their account and making a stand and doing whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm calling it right now. Blizzard is only going to grow. Their profits are only going to blossom, and they're only going to continue to keep doing what they're doing. And this stand right here, no matter how cool it is, and we're in the movement now of hopping on trains and being part of this shit, and this is a great thing to get behind. It really is. But at the end of the day, this is business. I mean, fuck them. Yeah, they're assholes. I knew that anyway. So, at the end of the day, I guess it's a personal thing. If you want to get behind this movement and you really want to stick it to Blizzard, then by all means, uninstall. Don't buy their games. Do the retweets. Have your voice be heard. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you guys, I'm telling everybody, it doesn't matter who's involved. These guys are not going to change a thing. And, it's business, bro. That's just the best way I can put it. I feel bad for the casters. They should definitely do something about this, because they are literal casualties of what this kid did in front of a big group of people. So feel bad for them. As for this guy, I don't feel bad for him. He deserved what he got, but at the end of the day, he's getting exactly what he asked for. He's getting the attention. This could turn out to be a big thing for him, and at the very least, his prize pool money, the fact he can't play for a year, if that's the cost of something he's so passionate about and he wants this message to get out, then by all means, mission accomplished. He's been successful in this. Good on him.
He's been more successful than anyone else.
Exactly. Yeah. Good on him. Yeah. His message is out there. People are going to look at this guy like a hero. There are people that'll look at him like a villain. But the vast majority will look at him like a person who's standing up for his people, standing up for a great cause, standing up for what he believes in, and he has a platform that he's earned the position to be in, and he took it, and yeah, sure, it wasn't the smartest thing to say in terms of contract-wise, but at the end of the day, go for it. You have your platform, do what you want with it, but be prepared for the repercussions of it, and that's what he's facing now. I don't think this kid's going to have a hard time finding more work or playing another game or getting a
no,
following or
definitely not,
anything like that.
No.
You know, I'm not feeling bad for that.
No.
But I'm looking at in as a business perspective and how deep Blizzard is in with China, how deep everybody is in with China. We're not even talking just Blizzard Activision.
No, that's what I was talking about before.
Everything.
This is what I was talking about before.
But this
where
is a
people,
yeah, but this
where
is a,
people
that's
are
a-
saying no, but what I mean just right now,
Yes.
where people are saying, "Oh, this is your line."
Yeah.
Is that it hits
Of course,
everyone has
you know how
different
China is.
catalysts,
You
right?
know how China is.
Yeah.
You go public about them. You make them look bad in a public light when they don't have
Yeah.
control on anything. They made a call, bro. There was a call that happened from Blizzard from Activision China, and they said end it. That was that, and the people said, "Oh my fuck, kill it all,
Yeah.
kill it all." There's no beating around the bush. Kill it all and make it. They basically got to make good to China. They got to go, bro, we are behind you. There is no halfway. There isn't like, oh yeah, minimal things, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's fired. Get them the fuck out. If these two casters sue us, we'll pay the fucking fine behind the scenes. No one will know about it.
So-
and China will look okay in China's eyes because
Yeah.
that's ultimately what they need to do.
So following closely after that, I mean, within like, I don't know, like 24 hours or some shit, the Collegiate Hearthstone League Championship happened, and the American University held up a free Hong Kong boycott Blizzard sign on camera during the broadcast, which was quickly cut away from. I haven't heard anything else come out of that. I don't know if the chat has heard anything else come out of that, but I haven't heard of any suspensions or any action being taken on the American college team to this point.
Dude,
and it just
this is just going to go on as normal business, bro. There'll be another event. No one will talk about it. I mean, people will. Blizzard.
well, you know why? You know why nobody? Why if nothing's happened, you know why? Because it wasn't a dude from Hong Kong saying it on their broadcast.
100%.
It was on another broadcast
Yep.
within North America.
Yep.
With a bunch of white dudes doing it.
Yep.
So it didn't matter.
Yep.
Which just further cements
I
everything.
know.
So it's just
I know. I get what you're saying,
so
bro.
furthering that, Tim Sweeney, the head of Epic, Tencent owns 40% of this company. Mm-hmm. Okay. Came out and said, because people were questioning, they were like, I wonder what this means for Epic, because Epic is, 5% for Blizzard for Tencent, 40% for Epic. What would have happened if a Fortnite player from China or Hong Kong said these things?
Same thing.
On the camera. What would
would've
happen?
just ended- it would have ended.
Then Tim Sweeney came out and said that Epic supports, specifically in response to this exact situation, Epic supports the rights of Fortnite players and creators to speak about politics and human rights. This was brought into question, like I was saying, because of the response from those about Tencent owning 40% of Epic. So Tim Sweeney is saying that if it happened on their side, this wouldn't have happened.
I'm telling you definitively, that's bullshit.
Well, it's going to happen.
Well, and
because it's going to happen.
somebody's just
now.
going to do it now. Someone's just going to do it now to do it.
So then we get to see if it really won't blow back.
I'm telling you right now, bro. It'll be the same type of shit. That's what's gonna boil it down. If Tencent owns 40%, the answer is a nope. It's a nope. And you know what? Epic, as much as Epic are fucking sneaks as well, bro.
Oh, of course.
Of
course. I was just very intrigued that the CEO himself would say that, because in the not too distant future, that's going to be tested.
Of course.
Somebody's going to test.
Of course.
At least one person's going to test that line.
and they're going to be
and
gone.
then we're going to find out just how valid that tweet is going to be, and that's going to come back on Tim Sweeney's lap.
Yep.
Where people go, hey, remember literally less than a month ago when you said this shit, he's going to go, oh, sorry.
100%, bro.
Or actually, it's going to sound more like,
Yeah. You know why he's saying it now? Because he wants Epic to look like the fucking good guys.
Yes,
this
of course.
This is once again, this is politics,
Dude,
bro.
a no-name card game called Gods Unchained, some unknown thing, announced that not only would they pay for the lost winnings for this Hearthstone player, but they would give him an instant invite to their $500,000 tournament coming up. Which is just, it's a play. It's a
publicity play.
I like it. I like it.
Pay this. You know what? This dude, if he's smart, he takes that money.
Absolutely.
He wins that tournament.
Yes.
And he says the same goddamn thing
on their tournament.
And he walks away.
And he walks away. Yes.
That's
the best. That's the best timeline right there. Yes. That's the best timeline.
That's what I do.
That's the best fucking timeline.
Hey, I agree. You know what? Epic is just doing what Epic is looking for brownie points in a world where they need them. Because the stuff, you know what I mean?
But I'm happy that it happened because as soon as it gets tested,
we're gonna find out.
We will light a fire under their ass like everyone else will.
We're gonna fucking find out.
But you know what this did for me personally is that there is a difference for me. Before I say this, I'll preface this by saying there's a difference between being involved in China, the Chinese market, or having investors from China, and this. These are different scenarios. If there was a spectrum,
dude, these companies are massive, bro.
We're in big different territory, right?
These are massive companies, bro. Like these
I'm
these
fully
are
aware.
big daddios, and these aren't even big daddios in today.
I'm fully aware.
There's projected big bucks. They ain't fucking with that for no motherfucker on live TV.
So
not today, not ever.
So, but what it is for me personally is that it's going to become more obvious which companies are in which of those two camps, which are just getting investment or taking part in the Chinese market, and which are taking investment, involved in the Chinese market, and sucking the dick politically of every person that comes across their path for whatever way they can do it. I'm not okay with the companies in this category.
No.
I'm okay with the companies over in this category.
Of course.
So for me personally, it's going to make it, for the first time, I think possibly ever, as far as boycotting goes, it's going to be something that I take much more seriously because, not even because it affects me personally. I don't even play Blizzard games.
Yeah,
like almost ever.
Well,
like,
dude, you're passionate. You're passionate about this movement. You think it's bullshit. It's what you believe in, and you're going to stand it.
It's fucking crazy. So for the first time, but it's outside of just this movement. It's just making me look at companies differently because the world's getting smaller as time goes on. And no one country should have
that much power.
I know people will say, but what about America? You think America's got a lot of power now? Bitch, you don't even want to know how much power China
we already know. That's a whole different ball game.
That's a different fucking ball game.
Yes, I agree, bro. I fully fucking agree.
This is like, it's the...
Me, on the other hand, when Warcraft 3 Reforged comes out, I'm buying it.
I get you.
I'm going to play it.
I get you.
Because at the end of the day, none of this surprises me. I'm not surprised about any of it.
I'm not surprised
And I'm saying good on that kid for doing what he did.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm not going to say good on Activision Blizzard for what they did, because what they did, they played their cards, they showed them, but we always kind of knew what deck they were playing with anyway. At the end of the day, it's business, and I don't take business personally. I'm not running $1 trillion companies. I'm not in bed with very powerful people. That's just the way the world works, and it's not even just video games, bro. It is like that in virtually every industry that there is.
Yeah.
It just so happens that this was in a public forum, that's just it.